Thanks for coming. My name is Elisa. I am the creator of Women in Production Collective, and I am so excited for this panel discussion and so excited to see Wicked. Has anyone seen the second part yet? Yes, and you're here again? Sweet. That means it's good. So we try to go out into the community and celebrate women in different areas of production because as women, we do a terrible job of promoting ourselves. And so creating this community where we celebrate each other and we celebrate what we do has become really, really important. And so today you are going to hear from some women in production, a couple of them or a few of them who have actually worked on these films, which is really awesome. And then we have our moderator. Her name is Rachel. You'll meet her in a second. She is a musical theater major at University of Central Florida. So she's going to be talking to these professionals. But real quick before we start, so we have a sponsor, Frequency Productions, these guys. So Mike and his company, they are helping us with all of the Zoom and connecting all of the presenters and the audio and all of the technology. If you ever need a production company, they are local, but also go global if you need anything. And secondly, you are at Aloma Cinema Grill. I don't know if you've ever been here before, but it is a family-owned small business that has been in Central Florida since the 70s. You all have QR codes on your table. They will bring you food and drink. They have full meal and full bar. And if you know anything about movie theaters, they do not make their money on tickets. They make their money on food and beverage. And so please feel free to spend. They will bring you things throughout the movie. We want to keep them in business. We like small business. We like family-owned business. Anyway, we're going to do a quick 30-minute panel, and then we're going to watch the movie. But I'm going to turn it over to Rachel, who's going to start us. Come on.
Alrighty, hello everyone. I'm Rachel. I'm very excited to be here. So first we have two on Zoom and we have one person here in person. So just to introduce, we have over Zoom today, she's a choreographer, dancer, actress, she owns a catering business as well. Her name is Jessica K.L. Holder, and she is the Elphaba stand-in and picture double for the film. So she's joining us over Zoom today. Oh, there she is. She's over there. And then we also have, she's a voice actor known as the Blonde in the Booth. She did additional voices for the film. She's a voice actor and content creator, and that is Miss Madeline Curry over here. And then joining us in person today, we have from all the way from the UK. She is the personal prosthetic makeup person to Cynthia Erivo on the film. She also owns a jewelry business as well. That is Miss Olivia Gerard. She's here with us in person. But yeah, here she is. And then we're gonna go kind of down the line. Maybe we'll start with Maddie. And then can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. I'm Maddie. I'm a professional voice actor. I've been a voice actor since I was about 8 years old. And I'm 24 now, so it's been a little while, but I've been very, very fortunate with being able to work on lots of amazing projects. But I went to USC in California for my undergrad. I went for acting, and now I'm actually I'm getting my MA at a school in London because I just wanted to continue training as much as I could. But yeah, I was very lucky to get an audition for Wicked, and then made it through and did additional voices, which is also known as like ADR or looping, additional dialogue replacement or audio dialogue recording. People call it different things. And you basically just go in and you watch the movie, and they know where they want to add additional voices to make it sound as lively as it looks on screen, because you lose a lot of sound in post-production. So they bring in voice actors to come in and add dialogue back in to make it sound lively. So you watch it, and sometimes they give you like specified things that they want to hear, and other times you just kind of improv. And that's kind of what I did for the movie.
Perfect. Thank you. And then Olivia, you want to tell us a little bit about what you did?
Hello. So I am a personal prosthetic makeup artist. So for Wicked, I worked with Cynthia Erivo. And Cynthia, I'm not sure if you know, she has 25 piercings in her ears. I'm not sure if you've seen her on the red carpet. You've seen all of that amazing jewelry. So my role was primarily to conceal those. and that involved using prosthetics.
Um, just wondering, like, overall, how did you get into the business? Because we have some cast perspective and we have some cruise perspective. But how did you get into the business, and then how did you eventually get or book Wicked? So yeah, Olivia, go ahead.
Okay, so I studied makeup. So I started off with a level 3 diploma in theatrical makeup, which was age 17 till 19. And after that, I went to university. So that was London College of Fashion, and I did a prosthetic makeup course. Um, it's difficult to get into the industry when you're doing makeup. I think a lot of things involve portfolios. Of course, a production is visual, so you need to provide a visual portfolio. You know, it's all good and well sort of saying you can do everything, but really you need to show the designers and show productions what you can do. So I am now 32. So I graduated at 24, I think it was 23, 24. So I've been doing it for a few years now. A lot of things is just getting your foot in the door. So it's assisting, it's sending messages to designers saying, I'll do it for free, and volunteering, a lot of things like that. Just getting your name in that network. And with Wicked, I just happen to know the team, and I kind of ticked the boxes as far as my skill sets, which was prosthetics. And yeah, and then I kind of got involved and we started test work, and yeah, that is really like 3 years ago now. So it feels like a lifetime ago, because we obviously shot both films together. But yeah, so that's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Inching your way in there. And you, Maddie, do you have a similar perspective?
Kind of. I was very lucky. My dad is actually a professional voice actor as well, and he acts on camera too. But when I was younger, I kind of saw him pursuing it, and I would hear his voice on the radio or something amazing, and I'd be like, Dad, that's so cool. Like I gotta do this. And he's like, You sure? Like, I don't know. And I was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. So he helped me find my way. And I just applied to like see if I could get into an agency, and then eventually I did, and they sent me out on auditions until I kind of started to make a little bit of a resume, and eventually I ended up getting this audition for it. Sometimes you don't get auditions for ADR. They're kind of a lot of the times it's an easy job to just kind of reuse the people that like loop group coordinators know and love. So sometimes you don't even get the chance to audition for them. But this one, I got an audition for it, and it was under a code name, so I didn't even know what the project was. But I was a big musical theater nerd, and I grew up doing musical theater. So I had auditioned for this thing, and it was very generic. You didn't use like Aussian language or anything like that, because they didn't want anyone to know what you were auditioning for, because it was very top secret at the time. But then eventually, I sent my audition in, and then I got booked on it, and then they told me what it was for, and then I freaked out because like there's no way this isn't happening. But yeah, it's just like anything else. You just get auditions sent by your agents, and yeah, this one came through.
But yeah, I did want to know, Maddie, specifically, just in your career in general, did you have like any big pinch me moment that you think has really kind of stood out amongst the rest? It doesn't have to be Wicked related.
Oh yeah, so many. Even to this day, I'm like, I don't even know how I'm here. I've had a lot. I mean, the first like really big project I ever booked was Zootopia, and for that one, it was the biggest pinch me moment of my life, because that included like getting to go to my first red carpet premiere, and I was just, I was very young too, but I brought my whole family, and I was just like, I can't even believe that I'm, going on a carpet with people that I watch on TV all the time. Just incredible people. Like, no way I'm in the same vicinity as Shakira. Like, I didn't get to meet Shakira, but I was just like, she's close. I feel it. But yeah, just many moments where I'm like, I can't even believe, I grew up on Disney. I grew up on Nickelodeon. I think like the biggest ones were like getting to work on Zootopia and seeing that through. And then I was able to work on like an animated series with Nickelodeon called Harvey Beaks for a couple years, and that was my first recurring role. So it meant a lot to me because that was a very hard audition process, and I went in a lot of times, went in through a lot of callbacks, and they thought they were going to go in a different direction and go with completely adults, just a fully adult cast. So I thought that I had lost the opportunity, and then at the very last second, they turned around and they're like, "Actually, no, we want to bring you in to play this role." So I think those were probably like the biggest ones, especially because I just grew up on the shows and watching the networks, and you know, I couldn't believe that eventually I was able to go into these studios and like go into the Nickelodeon animation studio and run into like Tom Kenny, who plays the voice of SpongeBob. I was just like, you have to sign my face. Like you can't leave. Just yeah, amazing, amazing. So many amazing moments.
Oh, lovely. And kind of along the same lines, Olivia, I wanted to know if you had, what would you consider kind of your greatest accomplishment as far as your career has gone? But
I feel like I do have to say Wicked is definitely up there. Very similar to Maddie. Growing up with Disney, growing up watching a lot of musicals, for us, the West End, you guys, Broadway. Doing something to that, magnitude was just epic. And every day going on set with Cynthia, just having this green fantasy creature with you like throughout the whole day, was just incredible. And knowing that you're a part of that was just amazing. But you do a job and then you say, oh, that's as good as it's going to get. And then you go and do another job. And then you go, oh, no, because this is the best one now. And, you keep going. So I've just finished a job personing for Tom Cruise. So that's due to come out next October time. So that, that's up there now. So that will be released, next year. So I start How to Train Your Dragon 2, the animation, come January. So that is, that's up there as well. So you just, you keep riding it, keep riding the wave.
lovely. And then I just wanted to say, just for anyone, if you want to pop in, I know you kind of touched on, Maddie, a little bit about how your dad did this growing up. So you've kind of always known what you wanted to do, but did you think this is the job you wanted to do, or did you have a different idea of what you wanted to do growing up?
I mean, I can start. I really didn't know what I was gonna do, but I knew I loved it. Like that was kind of the extent of it. And because I had seen my dad do it, I knew that like it was a possible career path. I think if I hadn't have seen him do it, I don't think it would have been as comfortable just jumping into it. Because I feel like I'm an anxious person. I don't think I would have been like, oh wait, no, this is something I could actually do with my life if I love it that much. But because I did, I was like, I think this is the one thing that I know I love and that I would like to do with my life. Either that or like my dad was like, nah, just go be a soccer player, go do something. But he's actually very supportive.
There wasn't many courses. There wasn't really many people talking about it, or the options weren't really readily available at, your local college. Going into that field, I think in the UK, there was maybe like two or three courses throughout the whole country. Whereas now there's, 10 to 15, and there's plenty of short courses and other avenues to enter the industry. So yeah, no, I had no way in, but I just, knocked the door down and kept producing work. And I had like a work Instagram, which funnily enough is still this one that we had up earlier. I kept it, but at the very start, I was just doing little wax prosthetics, really low budget things, just trying to, train my eye to kind of know what looks realistic and what doesn't. I look back at it now and it's not good, but you live and learn.
I just looking for the future of like all these women in such a huge film like Wicked. What would you guys say? I guess we'll start with Olivia. What would you say you're most excited about for the future?
Good question. I think as far as becoming a designer, that's always been quite appealing to me. But you do have to work your way up. You start as a, assistant, trainee, junior. There's junior artists now, and you kind of work your way up. And the production ultimately hires the designer, and you're part of their team. So to design something would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. And Maddie?
Ooh, I feel like I would I know I'm very grateful for what I've been able to work on already, but I feel like I would love to be able to do to get kind of a leading role next in maybe like an animated series or film. Just kind of start working up, chugging along, working up the scale there. But yeah, I mean, it's always been a huge dream to be able to be a leading role in like a Disney feature or something incredible. But again, just when you find a great part that fits, just you take it. So hopefully something like that.
Yeah, really lovely. And then for because we have a lovely room filled with all these women in production, is there necessarily anything you'd like to share with women in the industry or coming into the industry, a piece of advice that maybe stuck with you, that you want to share with them?
Should I start?
Yeah, Olivia, go ahead.
I definitely think, there's when it comes to film, there are just so many departments. And you see when you watch a movie, you'll see it with Wicked, the credits at the end will just go on, and you'll just see every different avenue you can go down. And yeah, I feel like just the best bit of advice is don't compare yourself to other people. Just keep, doing your own thing. Everyone that as artists is so unique. We develop different times, different ways. So just to follow your heart, follow your instinct. You do comparison is a thief of joy. So just, see how you fit in. And definitely going back to being a female in production, a lot of these film sets are very male heavy. You've got Grips, you've got, Sparks, you've got such a male heavy set. So it's really beautiful seeing more women coming into those departments.
Yep. And Maddie, anything you want to
Yeah,
add?
yeah. I think I have two things. Like the best piece of advice first that I've been given is like in terms of acting is to treat each audition like you already have the job. I think it's probably something that people have heard a lot, but there's a lot of truth to it where it's like, you don't know exactly what they want or what they're looking for, and there's no use in trying to, adapt yourself to fit what you think they want. They just want to hear what you are. And if you're right for it, you are, and if you're not, you're not. But it's best to give them exactly what you are because there's nobody else like you. You are the only person that can do can approach it the way that you want to. So just like I think that gave me like a level of freedom that gave me a confidence in my auditions and then allowed me to put less pressure on myself because I was like, oh no, there's no right answer. It's just what I can offer you. And if you like it, that's great. And if you don't, it's not meant to be. But then I think that leads into like being a woman at least. It's just, you know, there's such a beautiful like uniqueness to like who you are and like your goofiness and your silliness or like tapping into your inner child, just like whoever you are is like just wonderful and there's not enough of it. So being able to just know exactly who you are and what you're passionate about and what you stand by and just being very straightforward and upfront about it, I think it's just a really strong and beautiful quality that like just lends itself to the industry really well and that you just go forward like with a lovely grace where you're just like I know exactly who I am and I know that like these qualities are a part of me and take it or leave it.
Perfect. And I actually think that like one more thing I want to talk about with you, both of you actually, because you both, like I said earlier in the beginning, you also make jewelry as well, in addition to all this work on Wicked and all this stuff. And then Maddie, you all make all your content you are a content creator on both TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. So how do you manage both a big project like Wicked and also having your own like passion projects that are really, really successful and stuff like that? Yeah, Olivia can start.
So Lala was a passion project which I started during COVID. It was a creative outlet, just basically when all filming was, put to a halt. It came down to just drawing, designing, and getting things together. I've got a Wicked collection as well. I'm not sure if you've seen it. So if you guys are interested, you can check out the Lala Jared website, and they've got a Wicked 20 discount as well. But it's been fun. It's really cool just to switch off from the film set and then go home and deal with that. But I don't know how I do it, but I make it work.
Yeah, and Maddie?
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. The content creation is very new. I think I've only started doing this over the past year or so. I had made videos here and there, but nothing really ever stuck. But I kind of just decided to dedicate myself to it. So it just took me actually sitting down and wanting to do it enough to like carve out chunks of my time to let myself think about ideas for videos and just, things that inspired me enough to create them, because it does take a lot of time and effort, and it takes a lot of editing. It just you can lose a lot of hours to it, so you just have to prioritize it. If it's something you really want to do, then you just kind of set aside the time to do it like anything else. But I also made a promise. I was like, I have to make sure that I love it and that I want to be doing it. I don't want to do it if it feels like work or like a chore. And I'm so glad that it didn't, because then all of a sudden this came to be, and now I'm able to make these videos and engage with people who are really like big fans of the projects that I've gotten to work on, and they can ask me questions about what it was like to, book things or work on it, or like speak in the voice of one of my characters for them, or like wish them happy birthday. And it's just such a nice way to like connect with people over like a shared project that you care so much about and that they care so much about. It's a really sweet, it's a very beautiful thing. So yeah, just making sure that you can set aside the time to do it. And just enjoy it. It's really nice. You gotta give time to it.
Does anyone have any questions out here?
Hi. Thank you for being here. Olivia, I'm curious what your connection is to Central Florida. Also, because we can't hear from Jess, did you have any interactions with her on set? And then I also have a question for Maddie as far as what voices she did in the movie.
So Florida, my family and I we visited as we were children, very often. This year is just a family holiday. And it just happened to work out that these guys reached out to me and spoke about this amazing event. And at first I was like, oh gosh, no, I'm on holiday. And then as soon as they said, oh no, we're in Florida, I was like, oh God, I can make it. I can be there in person. So we're on a family holiday. So that's the connection. And yeah, we love Florida, basically. But it's inspiring, again, going back to what inspired me and the film industry, growing up and seeing these parks and these incredible characters and actors, like this immersive world. I feel like it just ticked every box for me as a kid. And, that kind of is very similar to a film set. You go into these amazing experiences and, it's very similar to work. And the second question was if I knew Jess. So Jess is one of my best friends. So it's sad that I can't see her or speak to her. She lives up the road from me, actually, in the UK. And obviously, because Jess is Elphaba's stand-in and Cynthia's stand-in, we work together every day on set. So even though I wasn't part of the team that painted her green, of course, we were together every single day. And yeah, it was just beautiful seeing, the whole team. There's so many people involved in Elphaba, so a huge team. We have like lens techs, we've got nail techs, her personal makeup, her personal hair. There's wig makers. There's this world, and then you've got the stand-ins, and we were just a huge family. So it's sad I can't hear Jess, but I love you.
Yes, I believe the question was specifically what voices you did on Wicked.
Yeah. So I kind of blanketed a lot of just background vocals in general. There was a group of us that they sprinkled our voices in, a lot of the times in groups, but then individually they had a couple pickup lines that they like knew that they wanted to place into the film. So those are called like specifics. So they'd give you the line and be like, okay, this person in the back, it kind of looks like they're saying this. So I'm going to have you say that and we'll place it into the film. So a lot of where my voice is individually is in moments like the Ozdas Ballroom scene, when they're all kind of making fun of Elphaba in the first film, when she comes in with the hat, a lot of like the judgmental, like, laughs and like, oh, like what is she wearing, what's that hat, like I can't believe she thinks like that this, she thinks she's cool or whatever. A lot of stuff in the school at Shiz in the hallways being like, okay, like I gotta go to science, or like I gotta go to potions, like I'll see you soon. Just kind of in transitions. And then some wandering, like there's I'm Not That Girl, Cynthia singing. In the background, they have like a couple that's walking and strolling in this kind of garden behind them. And they just kind of wanted to add some life there. So I chatted a little bit to be that girl in the background, being like, oh, this is so lovely, as if they were on a date. Stuff like that, or just like call outs, a lot of laughing, a lot of stuff through Dancing Through Life, screams and shouts. Yeah, just I pop in and out all over the place.
All right, and I think we had a question in the front. Yeah.
Um, how long did it take to do Cynthia's prosthetics?
Good question. There are lots of different variations of the makeup. So we have sort of base level Elphaba, which include airbrushing her hands. And then there were days where there was less costume, where you see her arms. And there was also days, which you'll see in this film, part 2, where there's like legs showing. So I won't give too much away about what the costume is. But there obviously was a time variance with those. As far as the prosthetics that I applied, it was about an hour 20 to an hour and a half. Yeah, because she has all these piercings, and we keep the earrings in. So underneath the prosthetics, she's wearing 25 piercings. So throughout both films, when you're watching her, even though you obviously don't see the earrings, they're underneath the prosthetics. And as far as the application, because obviously taking them in and out every day would be almost an hour and a half long, so we didn't have time for that. Also, we had the fear that her earring holes would close up. So it just worked out that it worked out better just to have the prosthetics on, and so about an hour and a half, I'd say. But again, it could go anywhere up to sort of 3 hours with, everything. So with the makeup, it was myself on prosthetics and Alice. And then there was obviously the contact lenses that I spoke to you about. So we had a lens tech called Sinead. And then we have her wig. So then you see the microbraid wig. And that was by Sim Camps. And we also had our trainee called Jaylee. So it really takes a village to get that look together. So we all it was like a dance, like a choreography. By the end of it, we were just dancing around each other. We knew, who's going to put their hand where, and airbrushes everywhere, green everywhere. And, we were coughing up green for months after. So, but yeah, good question.
I think we have time for one more question, and we're actually going to take a Zoom question. So Ashton is in the booth helping us with Zoom, and I think he's got the last question.
I do. So this question does come from Zoom. It's from Kalani, and it's, what practical advice would you offer to newcomers trying to get their real opportunities in the film industry?
Maddie, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. In terms of acting and voiceover, what I always tell people is you'd be surprised like how far you can get with just making your own reel. You don't have to have any, professional experience to get started. I always say, like, if you are really passionate about it and you want to see if you can get an agent to get you auditions and really get your foot in the door, just find a bunch of like copyright-free material online and find a bunch of character voices or like genres to cover, so like commercial work or radio work or cartoon characters, and then you can just like edit together these little pieces, these pieces of copy of you, speaking, and then you compile them into a nicely edited reel, maybe like a minute and a half, and then you can just kind of send that to agencies, and you'd be surprised how much they actually do listen to you. I have a friend who made her own reel, sent it in, and is now at the same agency as me. She just completely cold emailed them with her reel and what she had to offer them, and they loved it. You never know. I always say there's no harm in just putting yourself out there. The worst they can say is just that no, or that they don't respond. But I think it's always worth it. You never know. Yeah, that's like the biggest, I think that's the best way to kind of get your foot in the door if you're starting from scratch.
Yeah. And then Olivia?
So I mean, practical effects, as far as what I'm concerned, is majority of the job. But in a world where we know AI is slowly creeping in, and the more digital side of things are very, heavily processed as far as editing, you can lose the authenticity of a makeup. It could have so easily been a VFX makeup Elphaba, but choosing to go down a practical route made it more impactful when, like I said, we went to set and seeing Cynthia just embody the character as soon as that makeup goes on. And again, in other jobs that I've done, just the moment, you put your brush down, you finish, and you see the actor look in the mirror, they just become the character. And you can't get that with, AI. So yeah, practically just keep practicing, So knowing your materials is very much my kit is massive. So just, learning how to use your materials and learning color theory and form and all the visual stuff, really.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, that is it for our panel. So I just like to thank Jess, even though we couldn't hear her, Jess and Maddie and Olivia, thank you so much for being here. So awesome. And gonna hand
We
it
are
back over to
very
Lisa.
grateful. Thank you guys for being here. Maddie, thank you for being here. Jess will be in touch soon. Rachel, thank you for doing this. So
Thank you.
Rachel is a musical theater senior. She graduates in May. She is going to be in Legally Blonde at the Dr. Phillips Center in April. If you would like to come support her and the rest of the theater students, we believe in the arts around here. We are going to watch the movie in like 5 or 10 minutes. It will start. We're going to put back the slide that was on when you guys walked in that has all of their Instagram tags. Follow them. They do some really, really cool things. And we want to see what Rachel does when she graduates. So follow all of them. And again, if you need a production company, Frequency Productions has been wonderful for this. And we will see you.